I'd take to the pitch and give everything without thinking about the consequences. When it actually happens, it's incredible. We made history. I was full of happiness. It was like an explosion.
I wanted to offer him to Barcelona, but the boy has a lot to learn. He's also the top scorer. He's got more than Romario, twice as many. That's why we call him Romario. I'd like to see him play for Barca because of his qualities.
Yes. Who is he?
The hairiest one, our friend Puyol.
He was sensational. He scored goals for fun. He was the heart and soul of the team. You think, that guy's going to make me famous.
I actually started out as a goalkeeper because I've got an older brother, and if I wanted to play with him and his friends, I had to go in goal, as nobody else wanted to.
He smashed his face during a football tennis match when he threw himself to the ground, attempting to keep a point alive. The funny thing is that he didn't even complain about his face. He just dusted himself down and asked his partner for the ball so he could try to put things right.
La Pobla isn't like the Camp Nou. It was a hard surface made of cement, which gave me back problems. The doctor and my mother told me I couldn't keep playing in goal, so I became a striker.
By the time Carlos Puyol was 17, the boy from Catalonia would follow in the footsteps of some of his footballing heroes by joining Barcelona's famous youth academy La Masia.
It was a massive change, because although I played great football, I played with friends and there was no organisation or training. My margin for improvement was much bigger than that of my teammates.
The focus on La Masia was about prioritising homegrown players instead of making signings in the transfer window, producing players capable of breaking into the Barca first team.
Puyol would graduate to the Barcelona B team, but as a right-back. Then, without a first-team appearance, the Catalan club accepted an offer for the 20-year-old from Malaga.
I was happy at Barca B, but when pre-season came along, I was told I could leave. The financial offer was much better than what I was on at the time, but I felt that it wasn't the right step for me yet.
Perseverance prevailed for Puyol, as Louis van Gaal would give the 21-year-old his long-awaited debut, away to Valladolid in 1999.
It was a dream come true. I know it's utopian, but as a boy playing on the pitch in La Pobla, you imagine being a Barcelona player like Stoichkov, Laudrup or whoever it was. You try to imitate them, and you'd like to be in their place, but it seems like such an impossible dream.
Then almost a year later, the rookie right-back would receive his biggest test yet, against Barca's fiercest rivals Real Madrid. But this El Clasico was different, the welcome in more hellish, as the game marks Luis Figo's first return to the Camp Nou, For the previous 5 years at Barca, Figo was a leader, the team's driving force. Now he was the enemy, and Puyol was given the task of man-marking him out of the game.
That was a turning point, not so much because of the game itself, but because of who I was playing against.
If Puyol was going to mark you, you knew it was going to be a tough training session. I can understand how the rivals must have felt. He presses. Then a second later, you have him there again. Very fast, strong, good anticipation.
Barcelona dominated the match, eventually winning 2-0. But the fans were just as thrilled with the performance from one of their own.
When the game finished, we had a hug, and he said, "You're a real pain."
Puyol's reputation was growing, and fast. His first appearance for Spain arrived in 2000. Then he'd grab his first goal for the club against Valladolid, as well as appearing at his first World Cup finals in 2002. Before a memorable moment in the Champions League that turned Puyol into an instant hero at Barca.
I remember several incidents like that, when attackers had the goal gaping, only for Carlos to suddenly appear on the scene and produce a block.
I'd take to the pitch and give everything without thinking about the consequences.
Physically and tactically, he was a guy who worked so hard. He was enthusiastic. He put in so much effort and made sacrifices.
Puyol represented a way forward, certainly in terms of behavior, in terms of even style. He was aggressive, but he was fair.
We can say we're winners. We all want to win. But what are we willing to do to win? Puyol was willing to do everything and anything.
While Puyol grew in stature, Barca continued to falter, finishing 6th in the 02-03 season, their worst position in 15 years. Wholesale changes were needed and made in the summer, starting with the appointment of Juan Laporta as their new president.
What we wanted was for our homegrown players to take on a more prominent role. I remember that at the beginning, they found the idea somewhat strange, because it was all about survival for them at that point in their careers.
Frank Rijkaard was then appointed the new manager, while there was also the marquee signing of Ronaldinho from Paris Saint-Germain. And by the summer of 2004, the team had a new captain.
It was a very proud moment, and also because of the way I was chosen. There was a vote, and all my teammates voted for me. It was very important personally, and it was also a big responsibility because I became their representative. So I had to help them, guide them, and be by their side all the time.
You don't have to look very far to see that Puyol represented everything that the club wanted to see in a captain. He was not a quiet leader. He was the kind of guy that would tell you as he saw it.
When a player comes here from elsewhere, like an Etu, he needs to have an example to follow. Someone who knows the country, the city, and the club. Someone who can explain what Barca represents. And Carlos performed that role.
I'd describe him as a leader and a player who was always completely aware of what was happening on the pitch.
With Puyol now operating in central defence, instant success followed. In 2005, the club would secure their first league title since 1999, as no team scored more or conceded fewer than Rijkaard's men.
The first one is always special, and more so in this case because it was after 5 years without winning anything, and we thought we'd never win anything, which can't be the case at a club like Barcelona.
We had a great team across the board, supplemented by homegrown players like Victor Valdez and Carlos. I think that was the beginning of the transformation into the best ever Barca team.
Barca's superiority in Spain continued, as Puyol would help them retain the league title in 2006. But that was no longer good enough.
We wanted to taste glory and make history. To do that, we needed to win the Champions League, one way or another.
That game was very special for many reasons. It's the only match when
we were up against Arsenal, who were formidable opponents. They had Thierry Henry and a whole host of quality players, but we were playing outstanding football. What really impressed me in that final fought on, and then all three substitutes were involved in the winning goal.
And you dream of winning it. When it actually happens, it's incredible.
Barcelona win meant, right, okay, they're back. But I think it was, right, something's happening here. If they actually capitalized on what they're building, maybe an era gets built.
Puyol was now at his peak. His heroics on the pitch would give him the nickname The Wall by the Barca fans, plus the Best Defender award by UEFA in 2006.
When I took to the pitch, I did think about trying to help and score a goal from a strategic piece of play, but the most important thing was keeping a clean sheet.
While his strength and speed may have been his biggest assets, he also had technique and was good in the air too. He was a complete player.
The fact that you can provide something without even moving, just with your presence on the field, those are things for the chosen ones, and he was one of them.
Yet 2 trophyless seasons coincided with the tragic death of his father. Puyol struggled with life on and off the pitch, as his future at the Camp Nou was all of a sudden in doubt.
People were saying that he was all about brute strength, and that his strength was on the wane, and that he didn't have enough, technically and tactically speaking. So I said to him, Carlos, we can't allow this. Anyway, we spent 6 months working on these things to the extent that he became able to analyse himself.
I know just a few players that want to be better and that are willing to do everything to be better. I can count them on one hand. Not even 5, perhaps only 2. One of them was Puyol.
By the time Euro 2008 arrived, Puyol was ready, as were Spain. The team would breeze past the group stages, finishing top with 3 wins out of 3. Before eventually overcoming Italy in the quarter-finals on penalties.
The first difference in that tournament, and I've never said this before, was when we got to the quarter-finals. We'd usually be focused, but we would always start packing to go home because there was a chance of getting knocked out. There was a 50% chance, so we'd prepare for it. If we won, we'd stay, and if not, you had everything ready to leave. During that competition, nobody did any packing.
Luis Aragonés' side would then demolish Russia 3-0.
He told us we had to win because we had the team to do it. And if we didn't, it would have been a disaster for him as the coach. He got that message through to us.
Backing it all up with results obviously gives you and other people reason to believe in it. I think that Euro 2008 paved the way for our future.
2008 not only saw Spain secure their first international trophy in 44 years, it also saw the re-emergence of Puyol.
He went from being roundly criticised to earning plaudits, even being named the best centre-back at Euro 2008 and being selected in the team of the tournament.
Back at Barca, Rijkaard was sacked and replaced by their B coach Pep Guardiola, while the return of another La Masia graduate would make a huge impact to both Barca and Puyol in the coming years.
I don't know, it happens in life when you are so much different personalities, sometimes just together they fix.
It's about the connection, and we made a good connection on day one.
They had so much confidence in each other, and Gerard Piqué had huge respect for Carlos Puyol.
We have a really good relation, and you can see on the pitch, it was great. He taught me so much, and all the experience that he had, and now we are like, we still are like brothers.
I heard Piqué saying, so the ball will be right at the, about to take a corner or right at the other side of the pitch. And I'll hear a voice saying, come on, wake up, wake up. And it's like, what's happening? So Puyol just showed that you have to be...
A very complete defensive partnership.
They're the best centre-back partnership in Barca's history.
2009 would go down in history. Puyol would lift all 6 trophies available in the calendar year, which included the club's first treble.
It's not just about what we won, but how we won it. I'm very proud.
It's a lot to live up to. 6 trophies, the 6-2 at the Bernabeu, plus the football we played, which is what I like most about that time.
It was a period of 2 years where they didn't win anything, but then Pep Guardiola arrived and took from what was left from Rijkaard, previously from Van Gaal, and of course from Johan Cruyff to take Barcelona to be no doubt the best team in the world at the time.
Barca would retain their league title in 2010, but once again, Puyol had his mind set on achieving more that summer.
We managed to win the Euros and put an end to the run of not making it past the quarter-finals. Then came the true test in the shape of the World Cup, to see if we could compete with the very best in the world.
Yes, we had won the European Championships. It was possible, why not? There were other teams that had as much quality as us, perhaps, but Spain thought, we can do this. I mean, of course, you lose against Switzerland, and all of a sudden it's like, can we?
That opening defeat was quickly swept aside as Spain would march all the way to the semi-finals, where they'd have to overcome Germany once again.
2 days before the game in training, I said to the players that based on Germany's passive approach to defending corners, maybe we could gain an advantage.
There are images of myself and Xavi at half-time discussing how he had to put the ball there and would hurt them. I said to Xavi that if he put the ball on the penalty spot in the second half, I'd run onto it and it would go well. Luckily, it all went perfectly.
Thanks to a rare goal from Puyol, Spain were now in a World Cup final for the first time and on the cusp of creating history.
It was a hard match, as is always the case with games against Holland. I think they saw Spain as the stronger favourite for that final. And for us it was hard. It was difficult to score in that game.
The game ended 0-0, as Iker Casillas would stop Arjen Robben from giving the Netherlands the lead. And so to extra time, and a moment that will live in the memory of every Spanish football fan.
I completely, truly agree with Iniesta. That when he hit the ball, the world stopped. And then after that, we just mayhem. And still, it's an impact when you're thinking about it. It was just absolutely magical.
He was one of those players who always brought the Spain team closer together, and I think he did the same for his club. He was such an important player because of his character and way of being.
It's another step up. We made history with the same generation of players. We're very happy and proud of that success.
After World Cup domination in South Africa, Puyol's career would be disrupted by injuries. Yet 2011 did see the defender claim his 5th La Liga title and yet another Champions League trophy, as Barca would beat Manchester United again, this time 3-1 and at Wembley. Another triumph on the European stage saw Puyol pass on the duty of lifting the trophy to his teammate Eric Abidal, who had recently been diagnosed with cancer.
What happened during that final at Wembley was an incredible gesture in the world of sport. It was something I'd never previously seen. I was really touched and proud to be able to lift that trophy.
A persistent knee injury forced Puyol to miss Euro 2012, before ending his international career a year later.
You cannot have so many fractures, injuries and recover quickly. Puyol played many years and helped the team, but clearly it did harm his body.
A 6th and final Spanish League title arrived in 2013, as did a new contract. Yet the injuries failed to heal, and so in 2014, after spending his whole career at Barcelona, Puyol retired from the game at the age of 36.
It wasn't an easy decision. Nor is it easy to have 3 operations in a year when you're trying to do everything to be fit and your body doesn't respond. I tried everything. I battled until the end, and there came a moment when I had to accept reality.
To a boy living out a dream, to an aspiring leader, Carlos Puyol is an example of what's possible in the game. Success arrived across Europe and the world, 17 major trophies to be precise, because of hard work and talent. But so too did unrivaled respect.
He was an example, a really good example, by far the best captain, old school centre back. I mean, he was the best defender ever.
He was a very complete player for Barcelona and the national team. He was one of the greatest, and in my opinion, one of the best defenders I've seen in football, and was lucky enough to share many moments with.
I think everybody misses him because there isn't many like that around now.
To work out certain situations in the changing room, represent all your teammates, not just pick up a trophy. Those aspects which are vital for a captain and that makes you represent your team, well, Puyol has been among the best.
A good teammate, a person who gave everything in this sport and was very happy and lucky to do what I loved the most for almost 20 years, which was training and playing football for my club.